Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afqel, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So happy to have you with us, and also really happy that Rita Strough is back on the show. It's our second call with her, and really excited about her being with us here because I really loved the first experience that we had, her interaction with the audience, with the live audience, and also the messages that came through. So yeah, so for those of you who are new to her, she is a conscious channel and spiritual teacher, and she will be talking today about conscious choice and in the blame game. Yeah, and we will have also a Q&A later on the call where you can ask her your questions. And yeah, so really excited about the subject because I feel it's something that is related to all of us, as she will be sharing also about her personal journey and how can we shift from victimhood to making more conscious choices. Yeah, so with that, Rita, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Oh, Monsef, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I did really enjoy our last time together, and I was very excited to be asked back again. So thank you for having me here. Yeah, I think that when we decided on the topic, you know, this idea of conscious choice came through, and it was something that has affected me, I think, my entire life because I can remember growing up and feeling like, as a child, really people are making decisions for you. You don't really get to make a lot of choices. Maybe you get to choose between chocolate or vanilla ice cream, but beyond those tiny decisions, it seems like we're always kind of pushed towards one direction or another. And in my own experience, I felt like I had no choice in a lot of different situations in my life. I kind of felt like a victim, that I felt like I was kind of just reacting to life and not really taking responsibility for the decisions that I was making or the way that I was going. I always seemed to make choices and decisions that were based on trying to either avoid getting in trouble. They were coming from a place of fear of making a mistake. Um, they were always coming from some place within me that was responding to protectionism, not wanting to get caught in something or every time I made a choice, it was kind of to keep the peace or to do what I felt obligated to do. And I think that for a lot of us, it's not only our upbringing, but it's also the environment that we find ourselves in that kind of makes us feel like we have no choice. I mean, think about how many times you say, well, I had no choice. I had to do that. I have no choice. I have to do this. I have to do that. Do you really? Do you have to do that? Are you consciously choosing these decisions that you're making? When I was in my early 40s, that's when I began to have this spiritual awakening, if you will. And it was really at that point that I felt like the blinders were removed. Up until that point, I truly felt like a victim. And I would blame other people for my unhappiness. I would blame circumstances. I would blame bosses and spouses and parents and everybody but myself for the conditions that I felt were unacceptable in my life. And when I had my spiritual awakening, I really started to feel like something started to just drop away from me. It was almost like looking at the world through a filter, and the filter comes off. And now you can see in reality that, you know, I have the authority to make choices in my life. I myself can say, I no longer choose to do this type of work, or I no longer wish to hang out in this crowd or take part in these activities. I don't have to do anything. And we're just so conditioned to believe that we don't have a choice. So, this idea of consciously choosing is really based on the recognition of our own divine authority that comes from within, that's there from the beginning, from before we were even born. We already know who we are, what we want, and what we're here to do. our purpose in life really is to just express our joy in whatever way that wants to come forth. So as I was living my life and, I went through my 20s and 30s and all the way up into my mid 40s, feeling like everything that was happening to me was just outside of myself, that I wasn't really making any decisions at all. I was simply responding and following whatever seemed to be the easiest path or whatever. Um, and it really wasn't until I started to have the symptoms of awakening, which again are like a low level kind of discomfort with life, a questioning of beliefs, all of that started to make me think, wait a minute, there's another way to live. There is another way. And that way involves me taking control and saying, I wish to experience this, or I want to do that. And even with work, for instance, I never meant to be in corporate America. That was not like growing up, I wanted to be an artist, right? So as a teenager, I was very, very actually pretty gifted. I dabbled in everything from paints to sculpture, and I loved it. Art was like my thing. And I remember saying to my mother, I'm like, Mom, I know what I want to do. I want to go to art school. And she just completely shot it down. She said, Oh, you'll never make any money. Just get married and have kids. Your husband will take care of you. So I was like, oh, okay, I can't be an artist now. Like that one interaction, which, and I'm not, again, I used to I would blame her because I thought she didn't see the potential in me or she didn't see me. She didn't help me. She didn't support me. But this was one moment in her life where she was busy rushing from one task to another. And her immediate response was, that's a dumb idea. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Which we can all kind of relate to that. You don't really think how impactful your statements or your opinions are going to be sometimes to someone in your life, like your child. So I, for a long time, really said that the reason that I was not an artist was because my mom discouraged me. It was all her fault. Now, if I really was conscious and awake and aware at that time that this was what I wanted to do and this was my passion, then one simple statement like that wouldn't have stopped me in my tracks. I would have said something that was more supportive of my own desire. And I would have said, well, I'm going to pursue this. But as a 15-year-old, I didn't have that maturity to even say that. The same thing happened with my father. Again, like I thought, well, if I can't be an artist, I thought maybe I can be an electrician like him. He was an electrician. I like to work with my hands. I used to help him all the time on little projects around the house, and I really was interested in being an electrician. So I posed the question to him, like, Dad, I think I really want to be an electrician. And he did the same thing. He said, no man is going to want to carry a 50-pound spool of wire up a ladder for a woman. Now, again, they were very old when they had me. So my parents were born in the 1920s. So they had it was a different time back then. But once again, I felt like, oh boy, now poor me. It was always like, poor me. Oh boy, I can't do anything about it. So there was a long period in my life where I literally just felt like I was, I don't know, just unconsciously choosing things that didn't really make me happy, that other people told me would be good for me, that I was supposed to do, and this is the track that you're supposed to follow, and just don't ask questions, just do it. So I had my own experience of waking up from that and seeing the reality, which was learning about the law of attraction. That was one of the, I think, the turning points truly in my spiritual awakening. A friend of mine at work was really into Abraham Hicks, which is the channeled messages about the law of attraction, universal laws in general, but specifically the law of attraction, where what you put out, you get back, and that if you believe it and you feel it and you intend it, it has no choice but to come into your experience. So I started to really experiment with the law. Hi, I don't know what happened,
Hi,
but it looked like we lost
welcome back.
you. Technology.
Yeah.
But what the point of all of this is to say that whether we realize it or not, we are choosing. So when I was younger, I was unconsciously choosing. And and those unconscious choices were coming from a place of ignorance of my own power and authority. I really did feel powerless. I felt as though I couldn't trust myself to make decisions because it seemed like, again, with the programming and the way that I was raised or the environment around me, that I couldn't trust my own choices because they were wrong. So, what do you do when you can't trust yourself? You let other people make choices and decisions for you. And then as you grow and evolve and shift and change, you realize this is a path that I would never have wanted for myself. This isn't bringing me joy. What will bring me joy? And another pivotal moment, again, was I think it was the book by Deepak Chopra, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, where in that he talked about um, really recognizing that there is this kind of like the creative energy of the universe that works in and through all of us. And saying to that force, what are my talents and abilities and how can I use them to serve humanity? Because if you use your talents and abilities, whatever they are, and you use them to serve humanity, you will find joy in that. It's a natural outcome, so to speak. So that one phrase that he had said, keep it as almost a mantra, a daily mantra. What are my talents and abilities, and how can I use them to serve humanity? Help me find the answers to that. The other thing in that book also was he spoke about a field of potentiality. And that's again where these concepts of the universe, of potential, infinite possibilities started to form in my consciousness, my awareness. I became attuned to this idea that anything is possible, anything at all. So all we have to do is choose. It's really a simple thing when you think about it, but if everything and anything is possible, how is the possible going to manifest in my life? I have to choose it. I have to say, I want that. And this is one of the spiritual teachings that came through many, many times when I was on the radio and just throughout my whole opening up, evolvement since the awakening. This idea that we are working with the universe, we are working alongside of a powerful force that is sort of a neutral force. It's not one way or the other. It's in neutral, and it looks to us to say, "Tell me what to do." And it's almost like how I was when I was a kid, and I couldn't trust myself, or I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was waiting for someone to tell me what to do. The universe is kind of like that. It's like a car that's sitting in neutral. And if you want to go forward, you have to put it in forward. If you want to go reverse, you have to put it in reverse. It just sits there waiting for us to make a choice, a decision. What do you want? Sometimes that can be the most frightening thing for somebody to ask them, well, what do you want? Because I had that experience happen in a coaching session. One of my Pilates teacher, she started taking a training course to become a creativity coach, and she was looking for people to test it out with. And I raised my hand and said, "Sure, I'll be your test subject." So we did 4 sessions, and in the very first session, we sat down on our yoga mats in her studio, and she said, "Okay, Rita, what do you want?" And there was silence, and I just sat there, and I could feel this emotion welling up in me, and I started to cry. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know that I've ever really contemplated, like, what do I want? Because if I say what I truly want, then that means that I can have it. And why am I so afraid of what I want? Well, it's because it's going to require something of me. If I'm, say, even in a relationship, maybe you don't want to be in that relationship anymore, but there's fear about exiting that relationship. So just to even speak the word out loud, to say what it is that you want, it implies that something's got to change. You have to give up something. And that's where I got stuck with the idea of choosing and getting kind of stuck. So I think sometimes when we feel like we're stuck or we can't advance, It's because we're afraid of having what we want, because that means that we're going to have to change. We're going to have to embrace it. And we're going to have to face the reality of what those choices will bring to us, good or bad. It's like somebody wanting to quit their job and start their own business. That's a huge risk that you would take, because obviously, if you're working for somebody else, you've got the security of that paycheck and maybe medical benefits if you're here in America, which is the only way it seems to have medical benefits. But there's a lot there. And then there's that the risk that you take. Will I be successful? I need something to get me started. All of that. It takes so much to say yes to the things that we want, because we don't feel like we can handle the consequences of it. So sometimes what we do is we sit in neutral. We stay, like that car analogy. We just stay stuck in neutral, and we allow everything around us to decide what our day is going to be like, where we put our energy and attention, how we use our passion and our creativity. It's all dictated by outside forces. And you may find that you're spinning your wheels, you're working really hard, you're doing a lot of things for people, you're making other people happy, maybe, but what about you? What about your happiness? Is this making you happy? Are you happy in this role that you feel has just kind of been selected for you? So there's just so much there to unpack when you have to sit down and really say to yourself, okay, I want something and I can have that. So how am I going to get from here to there? We think that we are alone in all of this, but we're really not. If you think about it again from the perspective of this field of potentiality or of infinite possibilities, saying that you want something, like saying that you want more freedom, you want more control over your time, you want time to be creative, time to travel, money and resources to travel and do the things that you want. You can say, I want these things. And you lay it out there and say, this is what I'm wanting. And now I'm going to imagine that it's coming to me, that I have set the wheels in motion, I have put the car in gear, and I'm going to respond to what comes to me from the perspective of this is possible and this is what I'm wanting, and my life is moving in that direction. What you'll find when you do that, again, this is the law of attraction speaking. When you do that, the universe recognizes the signal that you've given to it, and it begins to line things up for you. It, to me, it's almost like magic. And I think that's what's most exciting about it, is that when you truly understand it and you embody this idea of the infinite possibilities and the field of potential being ready to respond to you, you recognize that this is actually how it works. You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to even know what it's going to look like. You just say, I want this, and I'm putting it in gear. Now, let's go. You continue to seek out moments of joy in your day, do things that bring joy to you. And again, allow for the time to elapse between your wanting it and it coming to you, but always from this place of expectation, expecting it to be as you wish, and to know that you are engaging with something that is beyond the human mind's ability to really comprehend. That the universe is a perfect creative thing. It's a perfect creator, right? I like to think of it like, how did the earth come about? All these species of plants and animals. Look at this world, right? It is magic according to a pattern. We're no different. We have patterns and things we can rely upon. So it's learning how to move past the fear and into an embodiment of the divine principles of the law of attraction, owning and wanting the choices that we make for ourselves, and not allowing ourselves to be deterred from those things because of what things on the outside of us are saying to us. You may say, I want $1 million. What would you do with $1 million? Don't think about having $1 million. Think about, what does that represent to you? It represents security. It represents freedom. It represents so much, right? What you would do with the wealth is what you focus on. That's where you put your I wants, I would like the freedom, I would like the security, I would like the creative possibilities. Then the resources come around you. It may not be that you need $1 million. You may need someone to supply something to you. Again, this is where it gets really fun, is that if you can just learn how to work with the universe this way, you'd be really surprised how things turn out. I'm shocked that I'm where I'm at right now. Honestly, I'm 61 years old and I am semi-retired. I have a little cleaning business with 2 employees who I love and who love me. We have a great relationship. Um, I'm secure. I have the freedom. So I didn't ask for $1 million. It's not about having $1 million in the bank account. It's about having these things that I want: security, freedom, and a happy work relationship. Does that make sense, Mansa?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It does. It's how to say, it's like we release the pressure about how things should be manifested or should unfold, and it's like we give more flexibility. We allow the universe to align what we exactly need. And sometimes, also from my own experience, what shows up can be much better than what I was asking for. Um, and I wasn't expecting that it will happen. So yeah, and I have a question. As you were talking, like because we are used to uh, can call it the old timeline when where things doesn't work for us. We don't believe in our ability to manifest. Uh, how can we shift our focus to the new timeline, which is still unknown for us? And it feels like it's not yet real compared to the old one. And sometimes it can be difficult to believe that it's possible. Or when it's manifesting, we we still have doubt. Is this really happening? Or so how can we have this confidence in what we are creating?
That's a great question. Absolutely. I understand what you're saying. So it's like you're on a trajectory right now and you want to be on a different trajectory, or you're trying to get from this timeline to that timeline. And it's an interesting use of the word timeline because in this realm, obviously, things are connected to this idea of time, that we only have so much time. This is where I have found this wisdom that comes through speaks of timelessness, timelessness. So you do have to kind of you have to manage your time, obviously, in your day-to-day life. But it's the small things that you do every day that help you build the bridge from one timeline to the other. It's incremental. It can happen all of a sudden. I mean, for me, it was incremental. For me, it happened in little drips and drabs and little steps and little moments of clarity. It's like, oh, and before you realize it, you look around and you go, wow, my life has completely shifted from where I was to where I am now. It sometimes can happen in that way where you're moving through your life in a certain way, but unless you choose and you say, I want this other life, and you begin to like work on it by putting your thoughts and your energy and your intention towards it, it's gonna have a hard time manifesting, right? So you have to find small ways to build your faith and trust in yourself and look at each tiny thing as an accomplishment, as a success. For example, when I first started reading about the law of attraction, when my friend introduced me to it, I think I even bought the book, The Law of Attraction. I read the book. And one of the things it recommended doing was creating a visual representation of what you're wanting, right? The vision board. We're all familiar with vision boards. So I did that. I got a piece of poster board and I just started to cut out pictures of things that I wanted. I would go through travel magazines. I cut out a picture of an ad that said, picture yourself in Maui. And it had a picture of a palm tree and the beach. And I'm like, I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I cut that out. I stuck it on my board. I would like a new car. I wanted a Nissan Maxima because I had something happen to my van and the rental car they gave me was a Maxima. I'm like, ooh, it's got such great pickup. Oh, I love this car. So I cut out a picture of a Nissan steering wheel and put that on there. I just did this with a whole bunch of different things. And every morning I would come downstairs, get my tea, and I would look at that board and I would say, I'm going to picture myself in Maui. I would close my eyes, take a couple deep breaths and go, oh my God, the air smells so sweet and the sun is on my face and there's the sound of the ocean. Okay, I'm in Maui. And then the car, I would reimagine again, my hands on the wheel. I feel myself going fast. I love this. This feels great. Well, believe it or not, my husband was in sales. And I want to say it took about maybe 6 to 9 months for this to manifest. But he came home from work one day and said, Babe, I made President's Club. We're going to Maui. I was like, what? And it worked. So it's these you have to do like little faith building exercises and you got to work the muscle. So and again, everybody's situation is different. It's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, I wanted to go to Maui and I manifested it. But if you want to like radically change your life, maybe you're in a relationship that's going nowhere and you don't see an exit because financially you can't move out, you feel like you can't, right? When you hear that yourself saying, I can't because you have to stop right there and say, all right, what am I really saying? I'm afraid. I'm afraid. So, what are you really asking for? I'm asking for a loving, supportive relationship. I'm asking for security. Please bring this to me, this or something better. Thank you very much. And then you spend your morning imagining what that relationship feels like and looks like. Someone who cares about me, somebody who is kind to me, somebody who is there for me. What does that feel like? And you have to try to feel it. Like feeling it is a big part of it. And as you do that, what you're doing is you're moving your frequency to a different vibration. The vibration that you set through imagining it and feeling it is speaking to something in the universe. This is the mystery that we don't know how it works. The frequency that you shift in yourself by the imagining, it triggers this shift in the vibrational frequency that will no longer match your current situation. So if what you're feeling and you're wanting and you're imagining and you're embodying and you're putting that energy into every single day, 5 minutes is all you need every day to I say trick yourself, but you're laying the groundwork for your vibrational frequency to shift. What doesn't resonate with your new frequency that you're holding will fall away. Just like the skin comes off of a snake when it's outgrown it, the relationship that is not serving your needs, that isn't matching this frequency, it will dissolve one way or another. Something will happen. That person will decide they don't want to be with you anymore. Something will shift and change. And then you have to be ready to say, well, remember, the other piece of that was support. I need support. I want support. I have support. I am supported. And then you have to, again, begin to imagine this river of abundance that just flows right past you every single day. And all you have to do is dip your toe in it. You imagine that you're wealthy. You imagine that you're free. You imagine that you're taken care of, that you're supported. And as you begin to imagine and embody that, people, opportunities, things in the exterior world, your life experience will shift to match that. And nobody knows how it's going to happen. It's kind of like what you just said, that things could happen that you could have never possibly imagined in your wildest dreams. But by working with this universal law, you're practicing your creative powers and abilities. You're choosing what you want. You're believing in your choice. You're embodying it and imagining it and holding that frequency. And if you do that every single day, it's going to shift. It will. It has no choice. That's the other thing that's kind of interesting. It's like gravity. On this planet, if I throw this crystal up in the air, it's going to fall back down. It's gravity. It has no choice. That's how it works here. With the law of attraction and the law of abundance, it's the same thing. You set your frequency to feeling fulfilled, feeling satisfied, feeling wealthy. Even if you have $2 in your bank account, it doesn't matter. You say to yourself, I am wealthy in love. I am wealthy in health. I am wealthy in friendship. I am wealthy in so many ways. Count my blessings. Look at all this wealth that I have around me. Thank you, and may I have even more. Fill me till I'm overflowing. This is the promise of these universal laws. What we see with our eyes is only a reflection of what we feel in here. And that's what's so crazy about it too. Like our perceptions. Did you ever have this happen where like you may have heard something about a person, and so you come into a meeting with them. This happened to me once when I was working in a job in corporate. I was getting a client from another person to manage. And the other person, the other account manager said, "You're not going to like this lady. She's terrible. Oh my God, she's the worst." So I came into this new relationship with this client, believing what this other person said, that this lady, the contact there, she's going to make your life a living hell. I came into it with that. And then my experience with her, as I listened to her and worked with her, it was different. I didn't see that what he saw. So my perception shifted. Even when you learn something about somebody, you have maybe a perception about them, and then you get new information and it shifts your perspective. This is what I mean. It's almost like an instantaneous kind of thing. So what you see in the world is only a reflection of what you feel and embody in here. And if you're feeling um, desperate, sad, disconnected, lonely, if that's what you're feeling, then that's what you're going to experience. But if you can, again, work with this, the choices that you make, I choose love, I choose friendship, you hold that frequency, you, again, it sounds Pollyanna, but you literally look at what's positive in your life, what's reflecting of the things that you're wanting, and you feel it in here. Your world outside will begin to reflect that. It has no choice. It will only begin to show you that what you truly believe is for you. And it will move you. It will move you. It may move you in increments or it may move you all at once, but it will move you where you want to go. So you can go from this timeline to that timeline simply by saying, "This is what I want." You don't say, "I don't want." Never use the negatives. Don't ever say, "I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't appreciate me." Because the universe just hears, "Be with somebody who doesn't appreciate me." You can't use negatives. No. What do you want? Say what you want. I wish for appreciation and love and understanding and someone who sees me and gets me and that I love. When you do that, it shifts. It will move you there, but you have to take that first step. I don't know if you've ever heard of the concept of tithing. This was something that I think they talk about in the Bible or in some religious things about how you're supposed to tithe like 10% to the church or something. I honestly came to understand this as there's a different way to understand that. The universe is looking for 10% from you, and it will give you 90% to make you whole. So you have to take a step. You have to show it that you're serious. And when you do that, it responds. It just does. It absolutely will always work for you. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And I really loved it. It was yeah, better than the answer I was expecting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, yeah, also in a little bit we will start taking questions. So everyone, if you want to talk to Rita, you can raise your hand by pressing react or reaction, then raise hand, or you can type your question on the chat box, and I will read it. And in the meantime, I would love Rita, if you can share with us about the one-on-one session, the private session you are offering to our audience.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I invite everyone to visit the page, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rita, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rita, RITA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and I will put it on the chat box.
Yes, so
So
the
yeah, thank you.
one-on-one session, I offer what I call spiritual counseling sessions. And this is just you and I together for, I think I'm offering the 30 minutes,
30
reduced
minutes.
from $75 to $65. So there's a $10 savings there. Um, I think that you're going to find if you do a one-on-one with me that it's almost like having a conversation with yourself on another level. So what I mean by that is we create sacred space and I open up as a conduit for your spiritual support team, which could include your angels, your guides, any ascended masters or beings you might be working with. Sometimes it's just the guides, there's like a generic kind of a feeling around each person. Information can flow to you through this channel. So when you have a question about something going on in your life, we just basically open up and ask those questions. And it could lead us in a lot of different directions. But the purpose and goal of the spiritual counseling session is to really get a higher level understanding of what's going on so that you can answer your own questions. I like to think of it that way because I don't feel like I'm really doing much of anything other than creating this channel for you to have this conversation with your guides. Again, my own personal life experience comes into play because as guides, these beings that communicate will use things that are familiar to me to help communicate. There's a spiritual language that I've learned that's symbolic and that uses analogies and pictures. So sometimes I'll get images and things like that that I have to interpret. And for me, it's a thrill because literally every single person I connect with is just like a brand new book I've never read. um, and so many of you have the most amazing things going on in your spiritual lives that I have learned so much from connecting with people. It's incredible. I connected with a woman not too long ago who was really tied into dragon energy, and it was amazing. Like it took me to channeling her angels, guides, and dragons, took me into a whole different realm that I hadn't been to before. And when I say been to before, again, as a channel, as an open channel, multidimensionally, I'm connecting to realities in different dimensions. Okay. So there's the astral realms where if say you wanted to connect with a deceased loved one, we could do that too. A half an hour, we could probably get some information for you. Might be better to do an hour with the mediumship. But the realms that we're connecting to are all part of you and your unique story. So as we connect, you're provided with really high level perspectives and a better understanding so that you can help yourself. That's the best way I can describe it because every single time I sit with somebody, it's different and it's based on what's going on with them, what they need in that moment. And each moment is unique too. So you could ask questions about the future. Sometimes your guides may say, just let's focus on the here and now. Or they'll give you like the next step. They won't give you a vision of the future. Other people, they may. They may show me a calendar with months in the future, and then I can tell something's happening down the road. It's really amazing. And I think that it's almost like therapy. I've had a lot of people tell me it's cheaper than going to a psychiatrist, but it's not a substitute for that. It's not a substitute for that. But it is a way to really kind of tap into your own guidance system and see what's going on with you. So if you are interested, I encourage you to click that link. Um, I think it's a value, and I think you'll find it quite valuable as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rita.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Very grateful to you for being available to our audience and offering the one-on-one session. And yeah, so again, everyone, I invite you to sign up for this session, and you can find it on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rita, RITA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page or later on the replay page, and the link also on YouTube video description. And Tina Shirot, what type of question is Rita able to do on this call?
Oh, I don't know anything. You mean like a personal question? Are we doing personal question? Did we do that last time
Yeah,
on set? I think we
I
did.
think I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, any kind of question.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So Annette, she wrote, my husband passed away 5 years ago, and it would be his birthday today. Is there
Oh,
anything you can tell me about what he may want to say to me today?
this is Annette.
Yes.
Annette, where is Annette located?
Annette,
You
can
want
you
to
type
unmute?
it? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
if you can also talk, you can unmute yourself, Annette.
Yeah, if you can unmute and speak, that'd be great.
Burnsville, Minnesota, I guess.
Annette in Minnesota. And what is your husband's first name?
Mike.
Mike? All right, hang on a second. Again, mediumship is it's a little tough on a group thing like this. I'm going to see if I can get something real quick for you. Hold on. And that's Angels and Guides. Any messages for her from her husband, Mike? Today is his birthday. Okay, so my first impression is shamrocks and roses. So that's like luck and love or lucky in love. I get a picture of a man who's very gregarious and like almost like, oh, if he's not the life of the party, he would have been the life of the party. Someone who had a lot of that joyfulness in him and a feeling of celebration. If there's anything that Mike would want to say to Annette, anything you guys can bring through for her. I'm hearing like stop shaming or shadowing or something about not wanting you to stay in the shadows or being undercover. Like this idea of being he's wanting you to feel like you can emerge into the light of day and fully embrace everything that life has to offer to you right now. There's no reason for you to feel anything other than joy when you think of him and to bring his energy into your life. He wants you to dance and to have a feeling of exuberance and joy. So he is doing almost like a little jig. I feel like he's happy. Um, it's reminding me like Irish, like an Irish kind of a feeling to it. It's all shamrocks and roses and a feeling of big, bright, smiling faces. So there's this feeling of celebration and not wanting you to feel either ashamed. I don't know what you would feel ashamed about, but or shadow. It's like that kind of a phrase or word. Come out from the dark, come out from the sidelines, get yourself up back on stage, be seen, be heard. And again, I thank you for letting me do that. Sometimes with connecting with people on the other side, it's a more intimate thing. And oftentimes I find it's better to do that in private. So if you did want to do more in depth with him, I would recommend that you just do the half-hour private session. It, it's just for me, it feels a little awkward sometimes because I feel like they might want to be more intimate or more private in that way. And that's why I say that. But yeah, he's in a place where of happiness and joy right now, and wanting you to be there too, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nat.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Rita.
Hmm.
And Annette Sherrod, thank you so much, Rita.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Annette. And Tina, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Rita. I resonate so much with this whole conversation we've had tonight. And thing is, like I actually feel like I blamed myself my whole life, but then at the same time allow others to control it because that's sort of weird. If you're like blaming yourself, how can you say that other people are controlling it? So that's sort of like an oxymoron in a way.
Yeah,
But I'm just wondering if there's any guidance or help out there, that any wisdom to help me move forward with
sure.
this.
Tina, where are you located?
Pennsylvania.
What part of Pennsylvania?
Lancaster, York.
Lancaster. Okay, great. All right, hang on a second. Let me see. Tina's Angels and Guides, anything you can share with her? Okay, so they're showing me almost like a canoe or a boat that has water in it, and it feels like you're furiously trying to bail out the boat. So as much as you're bailing out, more is coming in, and it's almost like a feeling of uh you just have to keep bailing and bailing and bailing. It's become too difficult. And if you stop, you're going to sink. So there is almost like a stress around this idea of needing to save yourself to do the work that you need to save yourself. When you spoke about feeling like that you blame yourself, but also others are involved in that, there is this notion around you that the water is like the people and it just keeps flooding in. What they're wanting you to do is to create a barrier so that that doesn't come in anymore. And it's not meaning that you should cut off from other people, but it is saying it's time to put up those boundaries that you haven't done yet and to keep yourself insulated from those harmful thoughts and words and even those intending well who tend to overlook your own intelligence, your own grace, your own experience. You're being, they're saying like put down or put to believe that you're not as smart or as talented or as worthy of all good things as you truly are. And so we say that's the onslaught that you're continuing to shovel out of your boat. So stop doing that and seal the hole. Make a statement that says, I don't accept that. It's actually asking you to be more aware of what it is that you're wanting and to be unafraid to state it. For example, if there is someone in your life who is being rude to you or has overstepped their bounds and continues to push into an area of your life that you feel is pushing too far, to say to them, I love you, but you must stop this, is your right. And that is equivalent to putting a patch over the hole in the boat. Do you understand?
Yes, and I've been doing that. Like even the other day, my sister started on me about she's worried for my soul and all this other stuff, and I'm like, please don't, because I know I know I'm okay, and she just wouldn't
Yeah.
stop. And I'm like, please stop, please stop. I'm like, look, I've got to go, and I hung up.
Yes.
And like 2 days before that, I was with my mom and her boyfriend. And those two are so negative. We went to this restaurant. They were looking, and it was so horrible. Like everything they said. So I'm pretending. I messaged my girlfriend. I'm like, I can't. She's like, did you ground yourself? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, put yourself in a bubble. I said, I have. But now I just put bubble wrap around me and I'm sitting here poking it like in my imagination, just trying to laugh to stay out of their world.
Right.
Like it just,
Yeah,
I just feel like
you're working. Yes, Tina, you're working too hard for those relationships. So those
exactly.
relationships are not worth it. They're not worth it. I know it seems terrible to say that, but honestly, they're sucking the life out of you. So you just have to say, you know what? I'm
It's
gonna
my
do it.
family and it's like it's something I've always wanted. And I realized maybe I just was so blessed never to have them in my life. So like that was a blessing in me. I'm trying so hard now to try to have them. And I think if I would have lived with them, they would have killed me. So,
Oh my
so like I
God.
just need to,
Yeah, yeah.
like, because their energy is just so life sucking. So, I mean, I actually am taking what I'm finding out at 62 that my family is not what I always wanted it to be. Like I wanted it to be with them since I moved out when I was 12 with my dad, and I wanted
Right.
my sisters and my mom, but they may take my life from me. And even now talking about it, it's like I get so worked up.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. So
it's
that's your
something
guide.
that
Your guidance right there is to literally put the brakes on it and just say, I don't
run away.
yeah, I don't have to be with them. Because again, you have like an idealized version of what you would like them to be, but they're not like that. And now you're being reminded of why this relationship is or should be distant or kept at a distance. It doesn't mean you have to like cut them off completely, but just limit your exposure because it's causing
And
you to have to just imagine yourself in a canoe that keeps filling up with water, and you have to literally you're straining your muscles. You have to keep going. And if you stop, you're going to sink. That's what it feels like. So you have to
and that's
literally,
how I feel. And
you
that's how
have
I
to
feel. And
stop
a
the,
part of it is
yeah,
my mother has dementia and I'm feel so guilty if I don't talk to her, and it's like, but every time I do, I go, you know, which
Yeah, I
doesn't make it better with the dementia either. So
No, no, you have to
Yeah.
limit your exposure as much as you can. And then when you do have to be in their company, instead of thinking like you're surrounding yourself with bubbles and light and grounding yourself, you just basically make those choices again to say to yourself, I'm only going to be here for an hour. I know how they are. So I'm going to imagine that I am porous and everything that would normally hit me and hurt me is just going to pass right through me. It does not affect me. And then when you're done, you get out of there and you just sort of like, I don't know, take a deep breath or yell or whatever you gotta do, like kind of get rid of the energy. But if you know that you do have to have some interactions with them, you just sort of prepare yourself ahead of time, know who they are and how they are. And that's when you learn at that point, you know that you don't have to let it affect you the way it always has. It can pass right through you and not impact you. And you limit the time. You just say, I can only be here for an hour and then I
right,
have
and
to
I
go.
think it's my sister and her, but like I don't know which one's more narcissist, but like the whole energy, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
I
and
hear you.
yeah,
I
I
hear you.
just try
Well,
to.
I picked the higher consciousness card for you. So that's
Mhm.
a nod to, again, tap into your higher consciousness to allow yourself to learn what you need to learn in order to have a more balanced approach with them.
And
Thank
not
you so
feel guilty
much for
about it.
asking
Thank
your
you. Thank
question,
you.
Tina. Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank,
welcome.
thank you, Tina. Much love. And thank you very much, Rita, for the guidance.
Yes.
And we have a question from Nicole. What if health issues prevent enthusiasm and motivation to create? I get really itchy skin, and that can be awful. It comes, then it goes, but can stay around for days, weeks. Anything to help me let that go?
All right. So Monsef, could you just read the beginning part of that one more time?
What if health issues prevent enthusiasm and motivation to create?
Health issues. Okay. So having health issues that kind of get in the way of your joy. This is a
Yeah,
tough one again because when you're not feeling healthy and strong, it's really hard to get motivated and feel good. So I'm going to just ask the guides if they can answer this question. Because I know how that feels. I know when I'm not feeling well, I lack motivation. So if you've got health issues, let me see. Do you guys have something to say to Nicole? Don't let this stop you from experiencing life in its fullest. Know that there are avenues for you to choose that open up to you, that open up something for you, whether that is music or art or a company that you keep. Know that as you have motivations come and go, work with your body. Allow it to take you where it wants you to go. If it's asking you to slow down, then do so, but notice that there are other ways to engage with your creative nature and to use what you have available to you, to take accounting of that which is in your plus column more often than taking account of what is in your minus column, and using your ability to transmute energies, knowing that you are able to create from a space within that gives expression in the outer world. Do not hamstring yourself by saying, I can't today and I don't feel well and I want to give up. Do not say that, but say, today I must need rest, for I am not at my maximum capacity for experiencing joy. And so allow me to rest joyfully. This is all there is needed in this moment now, to engage with the body as a partner and a friend, to listen to it, to understand it, and to take the positives and leave the negatives, to know what is there for you, to see it as something of abundance in the plus column. Do you understand what we're saying? They want to know if you understand this idea of working with your body, and when you're not feeling the motivation or the enthusiasm, to just go with that, like kind of go into that deeper and say, okay, well, if I'm not feeling motivated and enthusiastic about anything that I'm wanting to do right now, then what are you wanting me to do, body? What should we do now? Is it just a matter of resting? Is it a matter of breathing fresh, clean air, drinking fresh, pure water? What do you need from me right now? Do you need me to clear my head? Do you need me to call someone over to be with me? There's a whole bunch of things that the body can kind of guide you to do here, that will help you navigate these ups and downs, but even more so to allow yourself the freedom to be as you are. If you're having a health issue that's taking away something from you, then you have to look at what you do have. What do I have? If I can't have that, what can I have in this moment? What will this moment give to me? Where is the beauty and the joy in this moment at this time? And you'll find there is something there for you. There will always be something there for you. You will never be left wanting. There will always be something there. Your body is definitely wanting to be a partner with you and to talk about these things and ask you more about what it is that's getting in the way of you experiencing joy. Maybe there's something in your experience now that's blocking or making it difficult for you to see the positive aspects. Ask your guides to dig deeper into that for you and show you where it is you may be holding on to something that you should be letting go of at this time. I hope that makes sense to you.
That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Rita. Yes, it does. Excuse me.
Oh,
Yes, it does.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I
Thank
totally
you.
understand how you're feeling. Yes. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Much love.
Thank you, Monsef.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you very much, Rita, for the guidance.
Mhm.
Tina Shirot, thank you so much, Rita. I will listen again to hear all you shared. And yeah, so yeah, I remember when before we complete the chat you shared earlier before we started the call, um, you were talking about that heaviness in the heart that is experienced in the collective.
Yes.
I'd love if you can share that with the audience as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Monsef. Yes. Before we came on to the show, I was talking to Monsef and I took a moment to just, which I usually do, to just kind of settle in and collect myself before we begin. And I felt this gathering of light above me that felt kind of heavy. Immediately to my right, I sensed Saint Germain, who is an ascended master and one who has kind of walked with me in this stage of my own journey. So he was kind of signaling his support for me in this process of being on the show. But the presence that came in was this, the Council of Light is what they called themselves. And it appeared as a ball of light above me that had a weightiness to it. And what they were saying was the energies here on planet Earth amongst the human beings and even some in the animal kingdoms and other plant forms, other life forms, all sentient forms on planet Earth, are feeling the weightiness of this tipping point that is upon us. There is a moment where we will pause and there will be a tipping point where a convergence of parity will come through. Parity, meaning there will be an understanding of one another. There will be a release of what has divided us and the acknowledgement of our oneness, our true nature. There will be this moment that dawns for us as a whole here on planet Earth, where there will be convergence of the hearts. We will see energies shift and move in a new direction. There will be plenty of work for all of us to do here on earth. So it is incumbent upon each of us here today to make sure that we are keeping our closets cleared of clutter, clean from the inside out. We are wanting you to remove and shed that which is no longer needed, which you have heard many times in the past. But what we are asking you to do is to prepare for the tipping point. This means that all relationships, all manner of speaking, all ways of interacting that have been outmoded, outgrown, are going to crumble. Allow them to do so. Allow the weightiness of this moment to settle onto you and feel it as a responsibility to be true to yourself, to give up that which you have been working too hard on that has not bore fruit, to give it up to the fire, this consuming fire that will take all of this leftover energies from the things we are done with and will consume it in a violet flame of transformation. Energies which are coming to this planet now include those from the extraterrestrial realms around the planet, from far and near. The neighbors you call Arcturians and Palladians, Andromedans, and others are gathered among the ones we call from extraterrestrial. That is a word you have created. But know also that there are realms within realms inside the earth planes also that are reaching up for this light, for this moment, knowing that there is a moment that will come in the not too distant future when all truth will be revealed and there will be an overwhelming sense of relief, a letting go of that which has destroyed so much happiness and light in this world, and a reemergence of the light from within the soul of humanity will begin to dawn across the face of the earth. It is time now to grow up, spiritually speaking, and to leave behind those things that are no longer necessary. Things like violence and hatred, division, misunderstandings, and greed are dissolving now. It may not appear in this way as you see it with the eyes, but know that it is dawning inside the interior spaces within the hearts of humanity now, and the planet is calling for it. Just work with the flow as it comes through and honor your truth, honor your might, honor your authority, speak from a place of knowing what it is that you want, and live your truth and live your joy. We leave you with that thought today. Okay, so yes, there is a convergence of beings that are both above and within the earth that are they're beginning to feel almost it's like labor pains, I think. When you go into labor, it's like the most intense moment right before the birth of the child. So we're so close. It feels like it's imminent, honestly. I have goosebumps all over me. But this idea that as we hold a vision of what we want for ourselves, just like we were talking about earlier, holding a vision of what we want for our world, this is what's going to shift it. So there's more and more and more and more people that are becoming aware of the fact that we can live. There's a different way to live here on Earth. There's a different way to utilize resources while still respecting the planet and the diversity of the planet and the life here. There's a different way to conduct ourselves, and it's emerging. So just it's gonna feel again a little tight and heavy for the next probably 6 to 9 months, but it's coming. Towards the end of 2026, there will be a difference that will be palpable, that will overturn some of it. It's going to be like we made it over a hill. So this is what they were wanting to say, and they're just encouraging each of us to work on our own self, to get stronger within our own selves, and to constantly work on seeking joy and holding a vision of the highest good for all in every moment. Don't give in to despair. Don't give in to the stuff that would normally drive you crazy and make you go, oh, this world is insane. Start saying this world is uniting. This world is coming together. This world is beginning to see our patterns, and we're understanding how to rise above our destructive nature into a more peaceful, cooperative, and sustainable future. This is what they're wanting us to see. The golden age is upon us, if you will. This golden age is coming, and it's happening. It's in the throes right now. So just buckle up, stay positive, and seek out the support of friends like we have here tonight, and shows like this one where you can receive the support that you need. Stay strong, and remember, you have to be spiritually fit. So do what you need to do to stay spiritually fit. Meditate, go for long walks, eat good foods, watch comedies, stay happy, stay upbeat, and help somebody. That always is a great way to just shift the energy. Get rid of the junk, clear things out, help another person. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you so
wow.
much.
Yeah, that was really powerful. Really loved it. Thank you so much, Rita.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
Gina shared, love this message you shared. It resonates so deep in my soul. Thank you.
Yeah.
Annette,
And
thank you so much for that beautiful message. And Nicole, a great message. Thanks, Rita.
thank you so much.
Yeah, beautiful. So, yeah, Rita, thank you very much for everything you shared today. Really love the call. Everything you shared with us, the guidance, the support you gave to our live callers. So, thank you very much for everything.
Absolutely. It's my honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. I appreciate you.
Beautiful. And also, everyone, thank you very much for being here with us today. Thank you for your presence, your energies, whether on the live call or the replay. Thank you for the comments and questions. And yeah, so again, you can sign up for the 30 minutes one-on-one spiritual counseling session with Rita on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rita, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Rita, RITA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and on the chat boxes. Thank you, Nicole. Tina wrote, was a great call after the few hiccups at the beginning. Yeah, right.
We did have some hiccups.
Yeah. So, yeah, so again, thank you, everyone. And I'm sending you so much love. And then we see you on the next call. Bye for now.
All right.